Hey everybody, Doc Beanz. Thank you for joining me for Daily Dose. We've got a bit of news for you today. It's actually a bit of an interview, so thanks for coming along. I'm talking to the good folks at Metro Wellness Dispensary in DC on the southeast side in Ward 6, and they actually had a pretty big announcement. This all kind of started when I was just going to do a review of their dispensary, but it ended up becoming a bigger story than I thought. So come along with me, enjoy the ride, and thanks for joining me for Daily Dose. I think this is cool. I think this is going to be cool. And one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was Kinfolk has suggests, family. So I thought it'd be cool to see, all of y'all interacting together. See, I'm already getting laughs. I am recording, right? Good, I'm recording. I like laughs. That's a good thing.
Were you like in a log cabin or something like that?
I am in an undisclosed mountain lair. That's all I can say. One of the things that I'm trying to do is just kind of create a sense of community amongst the cannabis people. So we don't lose a sense of culture out to people with deep pockets just in the name of money. Because one of the things that's kept cannabis on the map and has gotten you guys to the point where you're able to sell is because of, 30 years of head shop owners, stepping around landmines, where you couldn't say certain words and stuff like that. And eventually, and it's kind of weird because all of a sudden the politicians were like, okay, we'll just start making it legal. And now that it's starting to sweep across the country, I'm so proud of top-notch dispensaries and growers. And I've been following this forever. I've been a lifelong advocate. This is Doc Beanz, by the way. I am interviewing the folks from Kinfolk Dispensary in Washington, D.C. We've got a whole crew of people here with us today. I don't know if the original person that I spoke to, Jean-Paul, is going to be joining us, or is he there? He's there. But we also have Corey, who's a founder of the business. We also have Jamila, what is your title?
Marketing manager.
You are the marketing person. I was going to ask you if that's the case. So you and I are in similar fields. I've got a journalism background and I've worked in marketing a lot. So we have Jamila, who's the marketing person for Kinfolk. We also have, is Vanessa here today? Oh, okay. It says Sam WC. Okay. Hey, Vanessa. It's like taking attendance at school. I feel like I'm the sub. But yeah, so Kinfolk Dispensary is in the southeast side of DC. It's the only dispensary in the Capitol Hill area, which actually looks really cool. Capitol Hill seems like it's a really kind of a residential area where you can walk around if the weather's nice and there's things to see. You guys are around a ton of restaurants too. You've got a Popeyes right next door. Is that still the case? So if people come in and get their medicinal thing and then all of a sudden they feel an increase in appetite, they can always go for one of those killer chicken sandwiches, which people have literally died for. But there's a ton of restaurants around there. Y'all are in a great neighborhood. But people know you as Metro Wellness Dispensary. And I mean, this happened up until about a week ago, right? I mean, you're still showing up as Metro Wellness. If people do a search for that on Google, they'll still find you, but the name is now Kinfolk. Corey, can you talk to that? You're a founder of the group, right?
Yeah, initially when we were bidding on the medical marijuana licenses here in Washington, D.C., we were trying to send one message, right? One message that we knew what we were doing and we were safe, we were capable, and that we would do a great job, all kind of rolled up into one. That's the message that everyone is trying to send when they're doing an application in this space. Similarly, as part of that effort, you try to make regulators feel comfortable with who you are. And so a lot of times when people are doing that, they're picking names like holistic this, organic that, natural this, and they try to come up with these very green names. And we're no different, right? Metropolitan Wellness Center. And so our effort initially was to win a license. Having lived in DC since 1998, a part of Metropolitan Wellness, being longtime residents of the district, we certainly had a DC sort of feel. And we were trying to find something now that we've matured in the program. Maybe one day when most people walk around DC and they talk about different dispensaries that they use, they talk about them more so about, in terms of where they're located, right? They may say, I go to the one up in Upper Northwest, or I go to the one over in DuPont Circle, or I go to the one over on Capitol Hill. Right. And when those kinds of things are happening, we're in situations where people are not really identifying or haven't identified with the actual culture of the dispensary in and of itself. I wanted to change that. And so we began to pan back and really think about kind of who we are, who we wanted to be, what we wanted to be, how we wanted to be, and what sort of statement did we really make inside of DC as a dispensary. And we had another logo at one point in time that was like kind of like that neighborhood dispensary on Capitol Hill.
Right.
And we were trying to speak to the greater Capitol Hill community, where we love being in Ward 6. We love the patients that utilize the dispensary. They really do come from all walks of life in Washington, D.C. Like, what sort of binds our customer base at the dispensary is this sort of mutual appreciation of cannabis and a cannabis lifestyle. And so we wanted to be welcoming to anyone and everyone who wanted to appreciate that lifestyle and wanted to indulge in it and wanted to do so with higher quality, get to better things. But either way it goes, no matter where you are on the socioeconomic scale, no matter what ethnicity you are, no matter what your background is, no matter what your likes or preferences actually are, we wanted you to be welcome. And with that, we couldn't come up with a better word than kinfolk, and making this seem more like a community of people that really appreciate cannabis, really appreciate being able to access dispensaries in and around the DC area, really enjoying the DC culture, getting involved in all of that. And so we kind of came up with the name sort of all together, Kinfolk.
And that's really what popped into my head the first time that I saw it. I said, Kinfolk, it has a sound of family. One of the things that I try and do as a writer is I'm constantly talking about a sense of community. So you guys sound like you're right in tune with what I try and do. Jamila, how do you go about marketing this name change? This is kind of a big step for you. I'm sure it's keeping you plenty busy.
Rebrands are always a lot. It's like when you get started, you find so many things that you have to change. Just making sure Kinfolk's name is out there, replacing anything that said Metropolitan Wellness Center. So initially, we were deciding to change the name and move at the same time. But with the new year and certain regulations in DC that we were waiting for, getting an answer for, we just decided that we were going to just change the name while still being in the same location as Metropolitan Wellness Center. That way, we're still giving current community that we're in an opportunity to know Kinfolk and not just like move and change the name and leave them hanging. So we actually announced the rebrand via social media on New Year's Day.
Nice.
So yeah, so it was really like a new year, new name, new us. And then as you can see, we have our Kinfolk shirts and apparel. So Corey and Vanessa looked up different community-centered quotes to come out and represent and say exactly what Kinfolk stands for. So that's been pretty cool, and we've gotten a good response to it, and we're uniformed, we look good. So yeah, social media has been our big push, just kind of like letting everyone know we'll have so many more things that are coming for Kinfolk.
Now, wait a minute. You guys are going to be moving, or you did move?
We're going to move.
So you're moving away from the 409 8th Southeast, right?
Yes.
8th
Yes.
Southeast.
Not too far though. Yeah. We'll be in Northwest.
Okay. So do you have the new address already? Are y'all in the process of actually packing up and moving at this point?
Yeah. Vanessa, you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So we, Corey hit the pavement almost a year ago, because right now we are in the world's smallest dispensary.
And it's up on the second floor, right?
It's on the second floor. It used to be a tattoo parlor. It was actually one room, and we had to throw up a couple of walls. But we have, a bathroom, a lobby, a very small sales floor, and then one additional room. And in that additional room is sort of where everything happens. That's where people eat their lunch. It's where we process and store inventory. Most dispensaries have multiple rooms to accommodate multiple initiatives and efforts, and we've had one. So yeah, we've been in this building for 7 years in this 875 square foot closet.
Wow.
And now we're moving to a 3,000 foot
Wow.
building that has 2 floors and a rooftop. So, you know, Merry Christmas.
Well, let's hope y'all
Yeah,
don't
we're
get,
very, very excited about the move.
and that's exciting. What was the address?
It's 433 Massachusetts Avenue Northwest. It's in a part of it's in a part of DC called the Golden Triangle. It's close to Chinatown. You know, Massachusetts Avenue is a very busy street. We are surrounded, we're flanked by a lot of high-rise luxury condos and other businesses. It's definitely different than the neighborhood we are in currently. Yeah, so we're really looking forward to the change.
Well, you all have obviously got a good business model for working in a less than 1,000 square feet. Number one, you must be very efficient at what you do. You're probably going to get spoiled going to 3,000 square feet, but I'm sure you'll keep that efficiency. You've obviously done so well that you're able to move to new digs, and you've got a great set of reviews. I'll just, since it's DC, I'm going to say, how do your constituents feel about that? Your regulars who come in all the time, are they excited for you that you're moving to a new facility?
It appears so. Most people just want to know when it's going to happen. And so, you know, we haven't settled on a date yet. We know that we're hoping to move towards the end of the winter, perhaps early spring. So that's typically the prevailing question is, when are you guys going to go? And so, you know, we have this time to get people used to the new name, the new brand, the idea of us moving. And, you know, we fully expect for all of them to follow us. We're not moving, you know, very far. It's not like we're moving, you know, 30 minutes across town. We're just, you know, going to be 10 minutes down the road.
The new facility, is that handicap accessible then? Is it?
It is. So we won't, you know, right now we're on the second floor when we're in a historic building where no modifications could be made.
Right.
So we weren't able to install a chairlift or, you know, an elevator. With this new location, we will be on the sales floor will be on the first floor. So it will be ADA accessible, which is great.
That is great. It must be, were you all doing curbside or anything during the pandemic at all? Or is it?
Yeah, we've definitely tried. We also are on a very, very busy street. You know, there's Popeyes, and so to our right is Popeyes, to our left is a pizza place, a
There's
Starbucks.
Starbucks. I know.
We've got one of the busiest DC bus routes stops right out in front. We have a fire station right across the street. So curbside has been challenging. And so we're hoping with this new location, we'll also be able to, you know, do curbside a little bit more often. So we'll see.
Well, unfortunately, it sounds like we're going to have to be dealing with this, and that is kind of becoming the new normal. So on behalf of everybody who is compromised, thank you for being essential responders, which is what I'm calling you, and doing things like curbside and being as accommodating as you can. I think that's one of the beautiful things about cannabis, especially from a wellness perspective and a medicinal perspective, which in DC, you can only buy it medicinally, legally. And these people are the most knowledgeable, down to earth, and caring about your conditions possible. Jean-Paul, I wanted you to talk a little bit about clients coming in, because you're there in the dispensary every day, right? You're right on the front lines, right?
Oh yeah, I'm I guess you could say that. I am in here a lot of the time. I'm usually the first person in the morning. and I've been here I've been working here almost going on 6 years now. So a lot of the patient base is familiar with me.
And at first, I was going to ask you a little bit about what the constituents thought. People coming in, are they excited about it happening? You guys are actually, though, in the process of moving. Are you personally excited being there, the old place, and getting ready to go through a whole new name change and everything?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's kind of like growing up and leaving the nest. Honestly, it's a great change of pace. It's motivational. It's kind of gives you kind of renewed boost for the excitement that you had when you first started in this industry. When we first started out, it was maybe like 3, 4 of us selling a gram per person.
Wow.
So we've grown a lot. So it's nice to see our facility grow to the level that we should be at. Yeah. As far as our constituents, though, a lot of our patients are pretty excited. Most of our patient base is elderly, and the stairs have always been a challenge for us. As I said, the parking was always an issue. It's going to allow for a lot more traffic. And my most exciting part is we've always prided ourselves as a shop that likes to give good explanations, good recommendations, making sure the patients are educated. And the event space that we're going to have at the new facility is going to allow us to do a lot more for the community.
Who's in charge of interior design and the look and feel? And are you all collaborating on that, or is that falling down to a branding person, or is that you, Jamila, or who's doing that?
I would say like Vanessa and Corey kind of find things. They put it in the group chat, or we talk about it as a group, and everyone gives their opinion on it. And that's pretty much how, most things goes for the most part. We have a meeting, like we have manager meetings, and everybody expresses what they're working on and asks for their opinions on what everyone's working on. So yeah.
Doc, that's a very nice way of saying that I'm probably going to get the blame for it if it doesn't go right. But
it's Corey's taste. He picked out that.
Yeah, I guess Corey's setting the vibe, though, I guess.
Well, from the looks of it, it looks, from what I saw of the old establishment, you did kind of have that apothecary feel with the glassware up on the jar and on the wall, and it looked like you really had a lean use of space. I really like the look and feel. So what's the look and feel going to be like once you change over, Corey?
It's going to have more of a vibe to it. We want Kinfolk to feel like, like a home, a place that's very comfortable, very warm. We intend to use a lot of warm colors, and really the kind of place that you sort of like step out of your living room into our living room, for lack of a better phrase. And that's kind of where we're going with the vibe. Welcoming our family into our family and hanging out at our spot.
It must be exciting moving into a space that's going to be 3 times the size that it was. It's going to open up your options in a lot of ways. Are you going to be expecting your client base to actually grow at this point, or is it pretty much at a level pace?
I think first priority is making sure that we continue to serve the constituents that we currently have. We really don't want to lose any of our patients. We're a pretty sizable operation, even though we're in a pretty small footprint. And to that end, one of these moves is to kind of accommodate some of the things that we've heard from our patients. Like Vanessa mentioned, the difficulty coming up the stairs, the problems when our weight room fills up, and different things like that. And so we want to have a format that is more accommodating some of the things that our existing customers have had. But certainly having a larger footprint allows us to do more volume. And we certainly, with the area that we are located at, as Vanessa indicated, we're about 4 blocks west of Union Station, 2.5 blocks east of the Convention Center on Massachusetts Avenue. The area is called Mount Vernon Triangle, and we're right over there by Chinatown. And so it's a great area. We certainly anticipate doing more volume and more business over there. And we'll be bulking up and probably adding new staff members to help us accommodate that. But the first and foremost goal is to make sure that we are continuing to service the people that rely on us already in a premium way, and not letting the service that we're known for in any way start to suffer.
Well, it sounds like you guys have been doing things really well. Your comments, everybody's comments in the comment fields are how nice and knowledgeable you guys are. Now that you're actually going to be in a place that's even better for foot traffic, yeah, I would, in much bigger digs. And Corey, we'll see what your tasting couches ends up being, but I'm sure everything will be okay.
You never know, man. We may just be all hammocks.
I like it. That'll set you apart.
Right.
But yeah, you guys also are really helpful about helping people get a medical marijuana card if they need it. Your dispensaries are all able to work with anybody's medical card from any state that has a medical program. So it sounds like things are really going to do really well for you, especially since you guys are kind of the only ones there in the southeast part of town. And all your products are all sourced locally. Is that correct?
100%. I mean, by virtue of the fact that we're in the medical marijuana program, we do have to source all of our product locally from cultivators and operators here in the district. And that won't change. And we actually, to be honest with you, really like it that way too, because, there's some very talented grow operations here in DC, and we get a lot of great products, and certainly our shelves haven't suffered, and our customers tend to really like the products that are on the shelf. Kudos and hats off to some of those great growers out there.
Absolutely. And the processor, everybody who's working in the industry as well, you all do get raves for the product that you carry. So you obviously have good taste when it comes to picking out the right strains and educating people about the way to go. I'm excited about your name change, and I'll do what I can to try and get that out there for everybody. We'll have to re-up when you all actually do the name change, because I'd like to do an announcement for you on that one as well.
Thanks. We do appreciate that.
No worries. And
sure.
I will send a link to the article when it's published. It'll probably be a week or so before
Cool.
finally the trigger gets pulled on that. So I appreciate you all being with me. Doc Beanz.
Thank you.
Saying good luck in DC. It's nice to see something that's consistently honest and good in DC, and that's you guys. So thanks for standing up for that part of town, and you all go check them out when you get a chance and visit DC. Bring your medical marijuana card. If you need help, they're always happy to help you. So for the folks at Kinfolk Dispensary, thank you very much for talking with me here on Dose with Doc. That's what I'm
Dose with Doc. You know what? Actually, what we should do is send you a nice Kinfolk skull cap and a Kinfolk t-shirt to wear on air.
I'd be more than happy to promote it for you from my undisclosed mountain lair. Thanks again for joining me, y'all. Good luck in the future. As soon as this mess clears up, I'm going to come visit you and see how you're doing. Introduce myself in person.
Excellent.
All right.
Peace, y'all. Take care.
Peace.